Hi guys, welcome to A Simpler Approach. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Today, we will be looking at payroll accounting. Let's get into it. Our primary focus for this lesson will be to understand the concept of payroll accounting. Now, in order to get to a complete understanding of payroll, there are some terminologies and some concepts that we must understand. Number one, total hours. Total hours simply represents the total amount of hours an employee works for the entire week. Number two, regular hours. Now watch this one. Unless otherwise stated, the regular hours for a week is 40 hours. Anything outside of that is considered overtime. Okay, let me say that again. Unless otherwise stated, and when I say that, I mean if you're looking at a question and the question said regular hours for this company is 38 or regular hours for this company is 50, then in that case it will be 50, or in that case it will be 38. However, outside of that, the regular work week amounts to 40 hours. Anything over that is considered overtime hours. Okay? Cool. Number four, regular rate. This speaks to the amount of money that a person gets per hour. $10, $15, $20. That's their regular flat rate. X amount per hour. Okay? Number five is overtime. Now we're going to spend a little time on overtime rate because it tends to be a little confusing sometimes. So watch me carefully as we break down this down. Now we already know that overtime hours is any amount of hours outside of the stipulated regular hour time. Okay? So if the regular hours is 40 and someone worked 46 hours for the week, then 6 hours would be called overtime because that's the amount of time that went over the regular 40. Now, overtime rate is the rate at which a person is paid when they cross over into overtime. Okay? Now, usually the overtime rate consists of the regular rate that was always being paid plus a little extra. Example, a worker is paid $10 per hour. That is what we call her regular rate. For overtime, she is paid time and a half. Now, time refers to the regular hourly rate that she was always getting, which is $10. And a half refers to half of the 10. And that will be plus a half, time and a half. So time, which is the regular rate, plus a half. Half of 10 is 5. So 10 plus 5 is 15. That is how you would calculate the overtime rate. Now, if she was being paid at, say, double time, then time would still represent the regular rate that she was getting, which is $10. Now, double time means double 10. 10 times 2, which is 20. Okay, moving on. Number 6, gross pay. This represents the pay that an employee receives before any form of deductions are taken out. That takes us to deductions. Number 7. There are two types of deductions. There is statutory and non-statutory. Statutory deductions are compulsory deductions that are taken out by law. Income tax, education tax, for example. Okay? Non-statutory are those voluntary deductions that are taken out upon the request of the employee. Student loan, loan repayments for a vehicle, mortgage, etc. Number 8, net pay. That is the pay that an employee receives after all deductions are taken out. That is what we call take-home pay. Okay? Another name for net pay is remuneration. So wherever you see remuneration, it refers to net pay. Time cards. Now, time cards are the source document in this case, and they verify the time at which an employee works. These time cards can be computerized or they can be manual, meaning when you get to work in the mornings, you sign in, you write the time at which you get to work, write the time at which you leave. Some factories have this clock mechanism wherein the time card is placed in it and it just stamps the time on it. Okay? Whichever the case may be, the card itself verifies the time at which the employee was at work or was not at work. So when sign in and sign out is accounted for, then the total hours for the week can easily be calculated. The final one is commission. And commission represents a percentage of sales that is paid to an employee when the employee makes a sale. So like insurance agents, car sales individuals, they are paid on commission. So for car salesmen and women, the more cars they sell, the more percentage of those sales they make. So the more cars they sell, the more money they make. Same rule applies for insurance agents. They get a commission of the insurance policies they sell. So more insurance sold, more money they make. All of these terminologies can be a little cumbersome to understand and to remember, but I promise you, the more you perform payroll functions, it's the easier it will become to remember them and to apply them seamlessly into the process. We're going to head into some examples now where you can see these terminologies coming out and you will begin to understand why it is important to know and understand these terms first before you can perform the process or the calculation of payroll accounting. Before we head into some examples, let us first get an understanding of the concept, the underlying definition for payroll. Now, payroll is simply the process of calculating the wage or salary that an employee must be paid over a period of time. Now, wage is paid every week or every 2 weeks, weekly or bi-weekly, in other words. Salary is paid every month. Now, payroll is simply the process of calculating how much in wages or how much in salaries must an individual, an employee, be paid after services have been rendered. Payroll register is an outline. A huge, can be small, but forgive me for using this word loosely. A huge outline of all the wages and salaries that a specific amount of employees receive. So you can call it something like a spreadsheet. So it shows the name of the employee, total hours, overtime hours, regular rate, their gross pay, what are the deductions that we're taking out, and what is the net pay. So it's a register, something like a spreadsheet that shows all of this information. In order to bring everything to light, we're going to look at 3 examples. 2 simple and 1 not so simple. Now, let us head into the examples and bring everything together for a better understanding. Okay, this is the easy one. The first one. Jordan works $10 per hour. Last week, he worked 43 hours for the week. Using an overtime rate of time and a half, calculate his gross pay. We're going to do this in stages. Regular pay, then overtime pay, then gross pay. Regular pay is calculated by multiplying regular hours by regular rate. Remember now, unless otherwise stated, regular hours is 40 for the week. Okay? So 40 multiplied by 10, which is the regular rate he receives, gives you 400. That's for his regular pay. Overtime pay. He worked 43 hours for the week. If 40 is regular, it means then 3 would be overtime. Okay? His overtime rate is time and a half. Remember that time refers to the regular $10 per hour that he was receiving. And a half, which is 5. 10 plus 5 gives 15. So his overtime hours is 3 and his overtime rate is 15. 3 multiplied by 15 gives 45. To calculate his gross pay, we simply add the two. 400 plus 45 equals 445. Okay, this is example number 2, and we're going to take things up a notch with this one. Brianna is employed to a company that pays $12 an hour. At the end of the week, her total hours was 52. She pays income tax of 10% on gross pay, that part is very important, 10% on gross pay, and she allows a loan repayment of $60. Using a rate of double time for her overtime rate, calculate her net pay. Now let us take this in stages. Regular pay is calculated first, overtime pay is calculated second, gross pay is calculated third, income tax is accounted for, and then net pay is calculated. Let's take care of them one by one. Back to the information. Brianna is employed to a company that pays her $12 an hour. This therefore is her regular rate. Okay? At the end of the week, her total hours are 52. Now, remember, unless otherwise stated, regular hours is 40. This question didn't say anything about regular hours. Therefore, the regular hours is 40. Therefore, regular pay would be 40 regular hours times $12 regular pay. 40 times 12 gives 480. Okay? Leave that there for a while. Overtime pay. Right here says using a rate of double time for her overtime rate. And remember that time refers to the regular hourly rate that she was getting, which is $12. So double time basically means 12 times 2, which is 24. Okay? This is the 24. Back to here. Total hours were 52. If 40 was regular, then 12 is overtime. Therefore, 12 overtime hours times $24 overtime rate gives an overtime pay of $288. To get our gross pay, remember you add the two. 480 plus 288 gives 768. I hope I'm not losing you, and I hope I'm not going too fast. Okay, income tax now. Income tax is 10% on gross pay. That simply means you are going to calculate 10% of 768, and that gives us $76.08. Okay, 10% of gross, which is 768, gives us $76.08. This would be her deduction, her statutory deduction. But the question did mention a loan repayment, which is a non-statutory deduction. So we have that to account for. And we can do that right here. To calculate her net pay, remember net pay is what she receives after all deductions have been taken out. Okay? So it's her gross, which is 768, minus her income tax, which is statutory, $76.08, then subtract her non-statutory, which is $60 in loan repayment, and that leaves $631.02. This would be her net pay. I hope you're understanding so far. This is example 3, and this would represent what the payroll register actually looks like. The bottom one, that is. The top one is the information necessary to calculate this. Okay? Let me say it again. This is the information needed to produce this. And let's go one at a time. D. Lemon. It says D. Lemon worked 46 hours for the week. His pay rate, which is his regular pay rate, is $12 an hour. His overtime rate is time and a half. Income tax 10%. Life insurance 5%. And credit union dues 15%. I mean $15. $15 in credit union dues. Now, having all this information, it would allow us to create this, which is the payroll register. And all we do is just calculate information and put it under the respective columns. Let's follow through and see. D. Lemon, total hours was 46. Regular pay would be 40, as we know it, multiplied by his regular pay rate, which is 12. 40 times 12 gives us 480. For overtime pay, his overtime rate was time and a half. Time refers to his regular pay rate, which is 12, plus a half, which is 6. 12 plus 6 gives 18. 18 multiplied by 6, which is the overtime hours. How we know this? Because the question said he worked 46 hours. 40 is regular, which means 6 is overtime. So 6 multiplied by 18 gives us 108. When we add 108 and 480, we get 588. Okay, that will be his gross pay. Income tax 10%, which is calculated on gross, which would be $58.08. Life insurance, which is 5%, which is also calculated on gross, $29.04. and credit union dues, which is 15. We add all deductions together, which is the income tax of $58.08, life insurance of $29.04, and credit union dues of $15, gives us a total deduction of $103.02. To get net pay, we simply take total deductions from gross pay, which gives us $484.08. The concept stays true for W likes and F berry. Follow through with the concept with W likes and F berry. And in the comments section below, comment and let me know if what you see in the register is what you calculated. If not, say in the comment section what you got and we'll talk about it. That's it for this lesson, guys. I hope payroll was made simpler for you. I hope you understood and I hope you learned something. As per usual, if there are any concerns or queries or comments outside of the assignment that you received for the payroll register, please feel free to let me know in the comments section below and I will respond to you directly. Until next time, walk good, stay safe.